German web design. It's cautious, especially when it comes to data. But it works. Here's why. Can you guess what the following sites are used for? These guys are among the most popular websites used in Germany, browsed by millions of people every single day. They look old, outdated, but how come they're still effective?
You're respecting the language. You see this exactly behavior in the website.
Germans, they care about their data.
After researching Germany's web design history, interviewing tech people in Germany, and analyzing popular websites, I'll answer these questions. How does Germany's aging population impact web design? How do European data privacy laws affect design? When did the Bauhaus style take over? And does a website need to look modern if it works? Imagine you're in Munich, Germany, enjoying a freshly fried schnitzel. All of a sudden, you notice you forgot to book your train ticket back home and prices are rising. You inhale the schnitzel, rush to your laptop, and see this. This is a website for Deutsche Bahn, a German-based company and the largest railway company in the world. Wait, what? 6.5 million people have to see this every day. Yep. And this 2000 style web design is used at banking, government, and news websites too? Yep. Why? Well, the answer starts with this. German web design is extremely user-centric, which means that the user is kept in mind every step of the way when creating a website. This is a good thing. Usually. With the median age of 45, Germany has an aging population. And with this aging population, let's just say that web design is not the most modern. It's not the trendiest, but is this okay? I mean, why has Deutsche Bahn stuck with this outdated design? Let's ask someone who works there.
The app had a lot of complexity. The start could be hard.
This is Andres, a developer for Deutsche Bahn's app, DB Navigator.
Apps or websites, they try to be efficient and not use too much resource, and we need to save money.
German companies cater to the audience, and the audience is old. They don't need to constantly update the website. In fact, if they do, it might do more harm than good. Economically, this is a great thing. Without the need to constantly follow, research, and implement design trends, development costs stay low. Keeping it this way is way more efficient. But what about the younger people in Germany? Who's designing for them? I'll address this later. But for now, there's one more key reason to why websites have kept their old, formal-feeling designs. It's about culture.
In Germany, since the majority is more older population, it's more formal and straightforward.
This is Ipek, a web and product designer based in Munich, Germany. Both her and Andres agreed that German design follows one key philosophy. If it has worked for the past 10, 20, 30 years, why change it? This stems from Germany's risk-avoidant culture. In a mass cross-cultural study conducted by Hofstede, Germany's uncertainty avoidance score was 65, higher than places like USA, China, and the UK, and lower than Japan, Greece, and other countries. This means that with new tech innovations, it takes time for German companies to adapt. And I won't gloss over the other historical facts that contribute to this slower adoption, but there is a trend. What do you think? Why is tech and newer designs adopted slowly in Germany? And why do websites feel so formal? I mean, even in how text is written on websites. We call this UX writing. In Germany, there is a formal and informal way of addressing people. When you don't know someone, you refer to them formally as Sie. People might not like it if a stranger addresses them informally as du. So, on most websites, visitors are addressed formally.
You're respecting the language. You see this exactly behavior in the website.
This subtle UX writing nuance is critical in making sure users feel respected. German web designs do this well, and this can only be achieved by understanding user preferences and culture. So now we know how a culture of risk avoidance can impact design. But let's talk about the one really risky thing in today's information age: data privacy. Yes, we all care about our data, but Germans really care about their data. And this actually impacts web design. Let me explain. For the past 10 years, if you went onto Google Maps, you would notice one thing. Germany did not have Google Street View. Germany did not allow Google to collect data about their streets. This strict policy on data is not just in Germany. In Europe, there's this thing called the GDPR. What is this, and how does it impact the world?
The General Data Protection Regulation. While GDPR is European Union legislation, it has a huge effect on businesses outside the EU, including the US. The old laws were written before smartphones started collecting massive amounts of sensitive information for companies like Google and Facebook. GDPR gives organizations guidelines on what they can and can't do with personal data.
Data privacy comes first. Websites are legally required to include strict privacy policies and inform users about how their data is being used. For example, cookies. No, not that. Cookie banners. You've probably seen this once in a while. Some websites use them, some don't. Here's the thing. You would see it much more frequently in German websites. After all, it's legally required. Some designers might say, oh, but this increases user friction. It takes longer for them to get onto the site. But in this case, this type of friction is necessary. Why? Well, first, this gives users a sense of control over their data. They can always choose to opt in or out of this tracking. And this sense of control provides them reassurance. And second, it's a form of accountability. Now that the users know exactly what's going on with their data, both the users and the website owners have equal responsibility in maintaining data privacy. But with these strict privacy laws, there's a problem. Due to GDPR concerns, testing becomes difficult. When you want to A/B test a product, you're going to have to interview users, give them surveys, track their feedback. That's a lot of data. And too much data, it gets a bit risky.
Germans do not trust the internet. They care about their data.
So, how do tech companies here gather data then? According to Andres, companies employ more passive ways of gathering data, like reading App Store comments. And we have to address the elephant in the room, AI. AI is built on data, past information. And if people don't want to use data, then they probably can't adopt AI as quickly. So, how do we work around this? Protecting data privacy is good, but what about innovation that requires data? How can we reassure users that their data is safe, but also give them the chance to provide more information? Because data drives innovation, user testing, iteration. Have you ever wondered why are Germans so good at making cars? Porsches, Volkswagen, BMW. Germans are great with precision and functionality. And this is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it works for sectors that don't need a ton of innovation. Governmental websites, banking websites. The point is to present information in a straightforward, practical manner. For example, this is the official website for Gundelfingen, a municipality in Germany. Notice how contacts, email, location, information are at the very top, compared to most US websites where all of that would be at the bottom. Form follows function. This idea of straightforwardness is also in industrial design. Here we have Dieter Rams, a famous German industrial designer. And here he points at things he doesn't like and explains why.
Das. Ich kann immer sagen, ich weiß nicht. Ja, okay. Ich kann nicht mit solchen Dingen. Unordnung, ich mag sehr gerne geordnete Unordnung. Die finde ich weder geordnet, noch ist es richtige Unordnung. Solche Dinge finde ich einfach unnötig. Okay, brauchen wir nicht.
So it's clear, function comes first, then we talk aesthetics. Coming out of World War II, we see the emergence of order and rationality. This translates into design, where we see a shift away from Art Deco.
Bauhaus has a huge and significant lasting influence on web design.
German web design also see inspirations from Swiss design, embodying the idea less is more. Just for fun, let's compare this to Yahoo Japan. Remember earlier how I mentioned, what about the young people? This is where we look at German apps. DB Navigator, the app for this website, is a lot more modern. Or we see banks that specifically target younger audiences. Colorful shapes, cute pictures, good vibes. This shows that German design has the potential to innovate, to evolve, as the tech consumer demographic shifts to younger audiences. But for now, these old designs work pretty well. In the book range, David Epstein talked about the Game Boy, what its withered technology lacked, the Game Boy made up in user experience. German web design isn't the most modern, but it works. What do you think about this approach? How is German design different or similar compared to design in your country?